First guest is a comedian, a writer, musician, actor, star, screen, both big and small. More than that, he's the man responsible for Stephen Fry moving among us. Ladies and gentlemen, Hugh Laurie. That's a burden to bear, being the man responsible for Stephen Fry.
It is somewhat, yes, and I'd like to remind the nation that the 30 days are up. I'm taking him back.
When you met him at university?
I did, yes. I was in charge of a university group. We have to put on a show every year, and the show that had gone on the year before me was very sort of eager young people doing very jolly songs like this, and I wanted something very dark, and I wanted to find people who looked as if they'd supped with the devil, and Stephen fitted, or is it fat? I don't know, that category. And the strange thing about him then was that he did look very great. He is a few years older than me because he had, as you know, some time out at Her Majesty's pleasure.
Yes, he did.
That set his academic career back a bit. But when I first met him, he was about 110. And he was just an old sort of figure like this. And he really did smoke a pipe, and he wore stiff collars and spoke Greek most of the time. Still does, some would say. And the odd thing, as I've known him over the 20 years, he's actually got younger and younger and younger. And he's now in combats and feeler trainers, you know.
It's sad that you're not working together on a regular basis now. Is there any hope that you might get together in the future?
Well, on my part, there is, absolutely. I think we both would like to do that. We're just not very good at planning. We've never planned anything. We have no Sasco year planner on an office wall anywhere, and that's probably our mistake. If we just invested that, I think they're very reasonable, 85, 90p, something like that, and a felt tip pen, we could have got it all sorted out, but we never did.
But Stephen Fry made the observation of you that, in his view, you were the true Renaissance man, in that you were both an actor and a comedian and a musician, but also the jock, the athlete, you see, because you got a blue at Cambridge for rowing, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, you did. Yeah, they don't give those away. So let's explore that bit of your life first of all. Your father, before you, he won an Olympic medal at rowing, didn't he?
He won a gold medal.
Yes,
he did. He went to 2 Olympic Games. He went to the Berlin Olympic Games in 1936 and then London in 1948, where he won a gold medal. He was very, very, very good at rowing. Rowing was his thing.
But he never told you about it.
He didn't. I didn't discover this medal until I was about 16. I mean, my father was a peculiarly modest man. Not a meek man, but an incredibly modest man. He took modesty to the level of a martial art, almost. And he never told me about this. In fact, I can remember going on a fishing trip one day, putting a picnic hamper in a boat, and he got in the boat and he took the oars, and I said to him, "Does he know how to row?" And then sort of 6 years after that, he pulled out an old sock from a chest of drawers and said, "There's a gold medal." I mean, amazing. He just couldn't bear to talk about his own achievements.
Do you admire that?
I do. I can't help it. I mean, I admired him because he was the most remarkable man. And I suppose, that characteristic in him was deeply lovable. If there was a queue anywhere, he would find the back of it. You know, he didn't even know what was at the front. He would just stand at the back. You know, he was such a self-effacing man.
Well, what about the other side of your personality then, that creative side, which has manifested itself in the acting and the writing and being a musician? I mean, why did that start? I mean, what was the germ within you that provoked that?
I suppose the true answer is, and you know, why shouldn't I be truthful? No reason. It's showing off to girls. That's why I've gone all bashful. That's really what it was about. Because actually, I was very shy with girls. In fact, I never asked a girl out. Never asked a girl to dance. These are things I've never yet to do in my life. It's you know, that's why I need a Sasco year planner, really. And this was a way of getting up in front of people and, I suppose, just being noticed, you know, getting some attention. No, not really.
It didn't work. It would be a complete waste of time, really.
Exactly.
But now you are known as a sex symbol, of course. Maybe Baby, the film that you did, you see, and I mean, there it was, and Laurie in the buff there.
Yeah, well,
having it off in several...
That's a young, groovy phrase.
That's it.
Yes.
I'm a young groovy man, really.
Yeah, that's true. I did, as you say, have it off.
It's a silly phrase. Have it off. Yes. Have what off?
Yeah. The more you say it, in fact.
The more you say it, yes.
That was a scary business doing that. I mean, I'd never done anything like that before I mean, let's be honest, it's quite scary when there are just two of you in the room. And when you've got 50 people looking at you, and we really have got things like tape measures, you know. All of that, you know, it's...
No, that would dampen your art.
It really would.
Yes,
really
absolutely. Well, of course, in Hollywood beckoned. You've been to Hollywood. In fact, you did the movie Stuart Little.
I did.
How did you get that part?
Well, I don't know. I still think it was a typing error. I still think that they, you know, when I arrived at the airport and they went, "Oh my God, it's the wrong guy." The only explanation I can think of is that I'm quite tall. And Gina Davis, who they'd already cast playing the part of my wife, or I was her husband rather, is 6 feet. She's 6 feet tall, and with big heels and big hair, she's quite a formidable sight.
Yeah.
And so they just wanted someone very tall, and most American actors, let's be honest, are short.
They're on the midget side of short, actually.
They're tiny. Absolutely. Mel Gibson is about that size. It's incredible. But of course, it's a great advantage to them because then they can make films very cheaply with very small sets.
Oh, I see.
Because they can just a little tiny house like that, and they can make a whole film. And Tom Cruise on the cliff in Mission Impossible, I mean, he's about that far to go. And there's a stuntman going, "You're right, Tom. Yeah, I got you there." But it's, yeah.
Well, what about the other wonderful routine you have to go through in a situation like that? It's flogging the movie in America. You have to go on these extraordinary rounds of publicity.
It is amazing. I mean, they really do nowadays put, I think, more effort and creativity into the selling of a film than they do into the making of it. The first day of marketing the film, I did 84 television interviews in one day. And you sit in a chair, and these people just come past you, and, you know, they seem like individuals to begin with. And you get the wacky one who's dressed as a pig because she's doing some student cable channel, and then a German comes in a black polo neck. What about the allegorical text of the movie? But after a while, they all just go into one, and you really do find yourself going a little bit mad. I had one very odd man who insisted that I call him Don all the time because he wanted to persuade his viewers that there was a special, he was in with and that he wasn't just part of a conveyor belt, and he would say, "So just call me Don all the time." And every question he would go, "So how was it working with a mouse? Come back with Don." And I would, of course, you completely forget to do it. So he actually he raised a little card that had Don written on it, and he would ask, "So Gina Davis?" "Go on, Don." And of course, you can't stop yourself from going, "Well, Tom." It's just very sad. It was very satisfying. Yeah.
Let's look at another aspect of your life too, and that's of music. You're a gifted musician. Yes, you are. Yes, pish tosh, but you are.
Well, I love it. I love it.
I mean, is that the thing you would most like to be, an accomplished musician?
Absolutely.
It is.
If I could have it all over again, if I could have my druthers, as they say, I would definitely. That's what I'd love to be. I'd love to be one of those chaps sitting over there in a. Well, maybe not one of those chaps, but. Sorry. I'm sorry. No.
But did you play in the school orchestra?
I did. I played percussion in the school orchestra, which was classical music. Classical musicians I've never got on with. In fact, I hate them, to be honest. Classical music I love, but classical musicians are a very pert bunch. And I stood at the back playing, the triangle, and I really did have to play that. And you go, ding, like that, and then it says 64 bars rest, 27, 28, 29. And if you make a mistake. Oh dear, we have a slight problem. Tap, tap, tap on the left. We have a slight problem apparently in the percussion area, and all across the violinists, these little gauleiters who are all. There's something very, I don't know, nerdy about them. It's
wonderful to see you passionate about these people. There's a rational hatred of classical musicians.
Because they do a wonderful thing, and of course I love the result. It's just the process that I find very, very hard.
All right, well, we're going to actually ask you to play something for us now, because you must demonstrate.
Because I shot my mouth off.
No, yes, that's right. You must demonstrate your musical skill. And what's it to be?
It doesn't have a title because nobody cares about titles. I've learnt that.
No.
But it's basically a protest song because I'm very angry.
About what?
Well, I'm just generally angry.
Oh, all right. Okay, well then, your musicians and your guitar. Oh, they're Hugh Laurie.
Well, the poor keep getting hungry and the rich keep getting fat. Politicians change, but they're never gonna change that. But you and me, girl, we got the answer right in our hands. All we gotta do is well, the winds of war are blowing and the tide is coming in. Don't you be hoping for the good times, because the good times have already been. But girl, we got the answer. It's so easy you won't believe. All we gotta do is it's so easy to see. If only they'd listen to you and me. We got to as fast as we can. We got to every woman, every man. We got to time after time. We got to longer in line. Well, the world is getting weary and it wants to go to bed. Everybody's dying except the ones that are already dead. The answer we're all seeking is staring us right in the face. All we gotta do is
Well, that's enough Bob Dylan and an extra protest songs. That was marvellous. What, just to round things off, what about your writing now? Because you've written a couple of novels. Are you in the...
I've written one novel, and I'm on the second one, and the second one is harder than the first. And I obviously prefer it if I could skip straight to the third. But it's not, I'm actually, what I'm doing at the moment is writing a film script based on the first one. And films are very, very hard things to write. And
yes.
it is tricky, but I hope we'll get there.
It's John Malkovich, isn't it?
John Malkovich is the producer, actually. Besides all his acting thing, he has a production company, and he's... so I've actually been lucky enough to spend a lot of time with him, and he's a very, very funny, nice man. That's been a great thrill. Even if the film never gets made, I've had some cracking dinners out. It's been great.
All right, then, for the moment, Hugh Laurie, thank you very much indeed. Hugh Laurie. Thank you.